Well, I hope you enjoyed the short break that we've had. I went into the Zoom meeting during the break and everybody seemed to be having a good time, so that was excellent. Right. Well, we're always pleased to see Keith Hyett when he turns up at the Churchdown Folk Club. He's a self-taught guitarist and he's very well known for his original compositions. Keith's got his own style of folk classical guitar, and I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy Keith Hyett's.
Hello, my name's Keith Hyett and I'm going to be playing you a set of my original guitar tunes. I'm going to start off with a piece off my first CD, which is a piece called The Mill. Thank you. The next tune is a piece which is on my fifth CD. This is a piece called Summer Calling, which was inspired by a poem by Thomas Hardy. Thank you. This next piece is going to be on my next CD. This is a piece called Days Gone By. Okay. This next tune was originally going to be called Cherry Blossom, but I decided in the end that it reminded me too much of school days and boot polish, so I decided to change it to Apple Blossom. So Apple Blossom. thank you. To do one more tune. First of all, I've got to do a bit of retuning. Next piece is off my first CD. This is a piece called Dance to the Rivers, which tells the story of a river from the time it starts up in the hills to the time it joins the sea. All of my CDs are available from my website, which is keithhyettguitarist.co.uk, and it's been an absolute pleasure to go and play for you this afternoon, and hopefully see you around. As I say, this is a piece called Dance to the Rivers. and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you so much, Keith. That was brilliant. Really enjoy your guitar, and actually this is the best I've heard it for sound quality. Absolutely brilliant. I've got Alex Davies as a singer-songwriter from the Forest of Dean, and he's a regular on the Gloucester Folk Trail. He's best known for his involvement in events such as the annual music festivals in Colford, Mitcheldean, and further afield as both a performer and organiser. During lockdown, he's used his skills to create numerous virtual events, including virtual music festivals and a weekly virtual open mic event on the Forest of Dean open mic Facebook page. Tonight, as a performer, he will offer a selection of songs on guitar and bouzouki. Here's Alex Davies.
So I'm going to play a bunch of my own songs tonight for you. I'm going to kick off with this song that was inspired by a certain event that's taken up most of our lives for the last 15 months or so. I actually wrote this right at the very beginning of the pandemic, at the end of March last year. It's a song about the events that happened in the days building up to it. So this is Dying for a Day on the Beach. It was on TV daily for a month or two, how people in China were catching the flu. Some bloke on the news said, we're sick of this cruise, when will they let us go home? Well, they said it was coming, they said it's everywhere. We ignored the warnings, we just didn't care. The winter'd been long, it was time for some sun. I was dying for a day on the beach. Did I heed the warnings? There's no chance of that. The government must think again. This is a free country, I'll do as I please. It's not like Italy or Spain. So I jumped in the car and headed for the shore. But when I arrived, so did 10,000 more. They said we had sinned, they tried locking us in, just for having a day on the beach. But did I stay inside when the government cried, you must keep yourselves to yourselves? No, I went to the shops and I bought all the stock and emptied all of the shelves. We thought this only happens to somebody else. We're safe here, we've got national health. We ignored advice, now we're paying the price, and you won't see us back on the beach. Now the shops are all empty, there's nothing to buy. Some folks have headed for the hills, but the folks in the hills say it's access denied. We can't help if you start falling ill. Well, I woke up this morning, my temperature's rising, I'm starting to struggle for breath. The doctor's been cold, but there's no room on the ward. Now I'm dying for a day on the beach. Yes, the doctor's been cold, but there's no room on the wall. So now I'm dying for a day on the beach. Remember that last year when everyone went out and panic bought everything? And yeah, I thought about it the other day. I was in Aldi in Ross-on-Wye and bought toilet roll, probably for the first time in about 6 months. Or for some people, they're still going to be getting through it in 2 or 3 years' time. But Yeah. What can you say? This is an old song that I wrote many years ago when I was living in the South Pacific, as you do. I hope the bird song's adding a bit to the effects tonight as well. Got the wood door open here, and the weather station says it's about wind's blowing about 1 mile an hour outside. It's 22 degrees centigrade, and the birds are in full voice. Not quite Fiji, but this is a song called Sons of the Sail. Well, she's an 18-handed schooner of the Palmerino line, and we sail the Isles from Bougainville to Temaway. A life of bold adventure on the dark and rolling sea is good enough for the 16 sons of the sail, Captain and me. A singular deserter from a war in the Far East took a Purple Heart and a shrapnel shroud to show the armies, not for me. Give me the endless ocean and the wind to set me free. It's good enough for the 16 sons of the sail, the captain and me. I signed on working passage, destination unsure. The sound of guns still rumbling in my brain. I've been working passage now for 15 years or more, and I never want to hear that sound again. With the sun setting behind us and the tide still on the rise, I leave an angel on the quayside with tears in her eyes. A girl in every harbour till it's time to put to sea is good enough for these 16 sons of the sail, the captain and me. And she's an 18-handed schooner of the Palmerino line, and we sail the Isles from Bougainville to Temaway. A life of bold adventure on the dark and rolling sea is good enough for these 16 sons of the sail, captain and me. Yeah, it's good enough for these 16 sons of the sail, captain and me. So that was Sons of the Sail. That was written when I lived in Fiji in 1984. And after living in Fiji, I spent some time living in Norway and some time living in the Netherlands and Germany, Switzerland, a lot of time traveling in the US and in fact all over the world. And eventually I moved down to the Forest of Dean about 6 years ago, and I'll tell you the story about how I got here, but just for a moment, let's have a quick view down the valley here. I don't know how well you can see that. It's probably looks like it's displaying okay from my side, but maybe not displaying okay from yours. But this is the view from where I live at the moment. And I'll flip it back around this way. Oh no, it looked okay. Okay, I'm looking at the lag on this. So yeah, I moved down here about 6 years ago after I left the Thames Valley, and in the Thames Valley they were building everywhere. In fact, they're starting to build everywhere around here now, but hopefully not in my valley. And when you are in that situation where people are building everywhere, sometimes you have to take that old adage, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what I did. I sold my house to the property developer who lived next door. And this is a true story about property developing in the Thames Valley and elsewhere. It's called Palaces on Postage Stamps. On the edge of town, one day a man in a suit came round. He said, I want to buy a house, tear it down and build palaces on postage stamps. But if you like my offer, then sign right there. When the deal goes through, you'll get your share. And well, he gave you 3 months to find somewhere and build palaces on postage stamps. Because you've got to give the people what they need. A room big enough for a huge TV, fully fitted kitchen and utility in a palace on a postage stamp. Well, the government says we need more homes. First time buyers get help with loans, so everyone can have a place of their own. A palace on a postage stamp. Relax the legislation and the planning control. Pass it on the nut before the protests grow. You can reap just what you sow. A crop of palaces on postage stamps. Because you gotta give the people what they want. Great big house on a tiny little plot. 2-car garage and a parking spot outside a palace on a postage stamp. Went out with the old, snap 'em up quick before they're sold. 10 to an acre, I've been told. Well, that's palaces on postage stamps. Prefab walls and timber frames, UPVC windows, gutters and drains, all stone clad, double glazed. Well, that's palaces on postage stamps. Because you gotta give the people what they choose. 4 double bedrooms with ensuite loos, picture windows with stunning views, of more palaces on postage stamps. Selling off the land like they don't care. You know, there used to be a farm somewhere over there beneath the palaces on postage stamps. 1 or 2 houses, that's no crime, but at 1 or 2,000 I draw the line. I won't do the deal next time, no more palaces on postage stamps. Because you gotta give the people what they want. Go and room to breathe. No more new builds round here, please. No more palaces on postage stamps. I said you gotta give the people what they need. Space to grow and a room to breathe. No stamps. There you go, palaces on postage stamps. Excuse me, I've got to move my lyric sheets on my music stand here, because sometimes I can't remember as I get older all the lyrics to all my songs. So apologies for that. This next song is a song about a life remembered and a death in the family. This is a song I wrote for my first dog. It's called Apropos of Everything. When you least expect them to, memories flood in. A winter's morn, a summer's day, an evening in the spring. You when you were starting out, unsteady as she goes, more confident in every way as you begin to grow. Summertime spent on the beach or rolling in the hay. Autumn walks through frosty fields on chilly sunlit days. Winter brought such magic as you gambled in the snow, chasing shadows, chasing dreams, learning as you go. In control of all you do, taking on the world, never thinking you would lose my brave and fearless girl. And when you'd put the world to rights, you'd lay down by my side, a happy smile, a knowing wink, a quiet peaceful sigh. Suddenly you're slowing down, it's steady as she goes. I don't need a walk today, I'll just stay at home. You can take the younger one, I'll be waiting here, lying in some sunny spot until you reappear. When I came home on your last day, you met me at the door, smiled at me your saddest smile and lay down on the floor. I watched as your star burned out, there was nothing I could do, and I wept when you closed your eyes, knowing how much I'd miss you. And now when I am all alone with nothing else to do, looking through old photographs and thinking about you, those memories come flooding back, all the good times that we knew. And apropos of everything, I'm still missing you. There we go, that was apropos of everything. A song about my first dog, and that is the sound of my current dog contributing to the show. Thank you, Daisy. And a couple of tunes that I wrote now, and then we'll see how we're doing for the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes of the show. So this is 2 tunes that I wrote a couple of years ago, and which are sort of paired together, and hopefully I'll get away with it. The first one is called Damon's Tune, and the second one is called Gellert's Grave. and goes something like this. There we go, just about staggered through that. That was Damon's Tune and Gellert's Grave, and I'm just looking at the clock now and realising that I probably don't have time for both of the songs that I plan to do next, so I'm going to do a shorter song instead for the first one. This is a song called The Things I Never Said. Tongue-tied in your presence once again, trying to steer the conversation, trying to explain the thoughts that keep on running through my head, but I can't find the words to say the things I've never said. So the small talk carries us along. Your beauty holds me speechless. Your voice sounds like a song, but I'm words still instead. Still searching for the words to say the things I've never said. I've thought of every question and my words I carefully choose, but when I'm talking to you I just become confused. I love to share your company and pass the time of day, but when you're gone I always think of things I meant to say. So the moment passes and we part, wish I could go with you as you walk off with my heart, but I make my way back home alone instead. Still searching for the words to say the things I've never said. Late one night while sleep lay on the land, I dreamed I found a diary written in your hand, and thumbing through the pages there I read how the words that you long most to hear were the things I've never said. How the words that you long most to hear were the things I'd never said. There we go. Excuse me. So that was the things I never said, and this is it's a song about regret, I suppose, and reflection, and this is another song of that ilk, but a slightly different tempo. This is a song that I wrote when I turned 60 a few years ago, and it sums up my life in a roundabout way because, as I always say, I don't regret anything that I've done in my life, but I do regret a lot of things I haven't done. So this is something I think all of us, once we get a bit later in life, would like to be able to do. This song is called Second Go Around. Some say my life has been a bed of roses. It hasn't been that hard for me, it's true. I guess that you would have to call me lucky, not suffering as other people do. Now don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for my fortune, that life's journey's been so easy and so smooth. But now when I look back upon that journey, I regret the things I didn't do. So can I have a second go around? Can I have a second go around? For all the girls I never kissed and all the great gigs that I missed. Well, can I have a second go around? I've never had to ask for police protection, and I've never had to spend the night in jail. I've never had to make that only phone call, and I've never asked a friend to post my bail. So can I have a second go around? Can I have a second go around? For all the hits I never made and all the kids I never raised, can I have a second go around? Well, I've never had to stand and face the music. I've never had the bailiffs at my door. I've never had to leave town in a hurry, and I've never had to go and fight war. So can I have a second go around? Can I have a second go around? For all the places I've not been and the sights that I've not seen, can I have a second go around? second go around. For all the trails I've never blazed and all the hell I've never raised, can I have a second go around? Second go around. Can I have a second go around? For all the seeds I haven't sown, all the pain I've never known, can I have a second go around? Well, I've never had a major operation, I've never broke a bone or lost a tooth. And even though my body is no temple, it hasn't suffered from a misled youth. So can I have a second go around? Can I have a second go around? For all the songs I've never played, all the bad choices that I've made, can I have a second go around? Yes, can I have a second go around? Can I have a second go around? For all the great gifts that I missed, all the girls I never kissed, all the bets I never made, all the kids I didn't raise, all the places I've not been, all the sights that I've not seen, all the trails I never blazed, and all the hell I never raised, all the seed I haven't sown, all the pain I've never known, all the songs I've never played, and all the bad mistakes I've made. Well, can I have a second go round? And if you give me a second chance, well, I might even learn to dance. It's a possibility. So can I have a second go round? Well, there you go. That's it from me. I've been Alex Davies. I've overrun by 2 minutes, but Bill said that was okay, and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the festival, and we'll see you when the next act is up in about 10 minutes' time. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, Alex. That was great. I'm pretty sure that you haven't led that much of a sheltered life. I'm sure you must have done some of those things, but I guess that's songwriter's license. Now, one of the founding members of Churchdown Folk Club, Veronica Lowe, has been in folk music since the late 70s. She's also one of the trustees and part of the working team involved in Gloss Trad. She's involved in Gloss Folk. Veronica has a vast selection of songs, either a cappella or accompanied by a nylon string guitar or concertina. Her husband Mike will be with her for 2 songs tonight. So here is Veronica Lowe.
Thanks, Bill. It's a joy and a privilege to be singing once again at the Churchdown Folk Festival. And I'm going to start with a couple of May songs. First of all, the Cambridge May Carol. Arise, arise, you pretty fair maids, and take your May bush in. For if it is gone before tomorrow morn, you may say we have brought you none. Oh, the fields and the hedges are growing so green as grass may be. Oh, Heavenly Father watereth them in with his heavenly dew so sweet. I have got a little purse in my pocket, tied up with a silken string, and all that it wants is a little of your gold, for to line it well within. Now the clock strikes 1, it's time we were gone, we can no longer stay, so please do remember remember our money, money bag, and God send you a joyful May. And now searching for lambs. As I walked out one May morning betime, I met a maid from home had strayed, just as the sun did shine. What makes you rise so soon, my dear? Your journey to pursue. Your pretty little feet, they tread so sweet, strike off the morning dew. I'm going to feed my father's flock, his young and tender lambs, that over hill and over dale lie waiting for their dams. Oh stay, you handsome maid, and rest a moment here, for there is none but you alone that I do love so dear. How gloriously the sun does shine, how pleasant is the air. I'd rather rest on a true love's breast than any other where. For I am thine and thou art mine, no man shall uncomfort thee. We'll join our hands in wedded bands, and married we will be. Searching for lambs. 'Tis June, and a bit of summer, we hope, so here's the rosebuds in June. It's a rosebud in June, and lilac in full bloom, and the small birds singing loud songs on each spray. We'll pipe and we'll sing, love, we'll dance in a ring, love, when each lad takes his lass all on the green grass, and it's all to plough where the fat oxen graze low, and the lads and the lasses to sheep shearing go. When we have a shed, all our jolly, jolly sheep, what joy can be greater than to talk of their increase? We'll pipe and we'll sing, love, we'll dance in a ring, love, when each lad takes his lass all on the green grass, and it's all to plough where the fat oxen graze low, and the lads and the lasses to sheep shearing go. A little bit of funny power. This is a Russian song by a folkie who wrote it for a theatre performance in 1860, and it's spread around the world almost as a symbol of the Russian Red Army. Kalinka, kalinka, kalinka maya, zadu yagra, malinka, malinka maya, kalinka, kalinka, kalinka maya, zadu yagra, malinka, malinka maya. Podzasnoin, podzelenain, spart pala, jitavi menya. Ai liuli liuli, ai liuli liuli, spart pala, jitavi menya. Kalinka, kalinka, kalinka maya, zadu yagra, malinka, linka maya, kalinka, kalinka, kalinka maya, zadu yagra, linka, malinka maya. Sashnanushka, tizelianaya, deslami, genado, menyoy. Ai liuli liuli, ai liuli liuli, deslami, genado, menyoy. Kalinka, kalinka, kalinka maya, zaru yagra, malinka, malinka maya, kalinka, kalinka, linka maya, zaru yagra, malinka, malinka maya. 5 years ago, on St George's Day, Churchdown celebrated the Golden Jubilee of the library. It was a follow-up from an old library that was in an old chapel in the village before that. We'd been running a community choir in the library for a year or so before that, so I was charged with producing something we could sing as part of our presentation, but there's something everyone else could join in with, so it had to be a very well-known tune and a little bit of thought into the love of books and things. So this is the ode for the 50th anniversary of Churchdown Library, which of course was also Shakespeare's birthday and 400 years to the day since we're told Shakespeare died. When Churchdown started reading, the thirst to learn was great. The chapel was the library on the Blacksmith Lane estate. The books they started breeding, with readers by the load. So halfway through the 60s, they opened Parton Road. Remember old Bill Shakespeare 400 years ago? He gave us lots of stories, and most of them you know. You can find them in the library, it's been here 50 years. So sing hip hip hurrah for the library volunteers. A friendly modern library, it grew and grew and grew, with books, CDs and videos, and great librarians too. Though now the cash is running short, it's time to raise 3 cheers for the boys and girls of Churchdown, the library volunteers. You can find them in the library, it's been here 50 years. So sing hip hip hurrah with the library volunteers. You can find them in the library, it's been here 50 years. So sing hip hip hurrah for the library volunteers. Here's a bit of fun that's got me out of a hole many a Friday afternoon of supply teaching. It's a bit of nonsense of a sea shanty called The Drummer and the Cook. Oh, there was a little drummer and he loved a one-eyed cook, and he loved her and he loved her, though she had a cock-eyed look, with her one eye on the pot and the the bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. When this couple went a courting for to walk along the shore, says the drummer to the cookie, you're the girl that I adore. With her one eye on the pot and the other up the chimney, the bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. When this couple went a courting for to walk along the pier, said the cookie to the drummer, and I love you too, my dear. With her one eye on the pot and the other up the chimney, the bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. Said the drummer to the cookie, ain't the weather fine today? Says the cookie to the drummer, is that all you got to say? With her one eye on the pot and the other up the chimney, with a bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. Said the cookie drummer to the cookie, will I buy the wedding ring? Said the cookie, now you're talking, that'll be the very thing. With her one eye on the pot and the other up the chimney, the bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. Said the drummer to the cookie, will you name the wedding day? Says the cookie, we'll be married in the merry month of May. With her one eye on the pot and the other up the chimney, the bow wow wow. Fa la 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 diddy bow wow wow. Well, that's about it. Thank you, Bill, for all you've done to put this day together, and I hope everyone's enjoying today and the rest of the evening. And please God, we'll see you all together in person next year. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Veronica. I love that last song. I remember it from years ago, and I remember when the first time you sang it at the club, I thought, oh yeah, I know that song. Who would think to write a song about a cook and a drummer? Okay, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to slip in a little advert for the Carpenter's Arms. Blackthorn Buskers will be playing there at the Misden Cider Festival on the 3rd of July. That's if we're out of lockdown by then. And we're also playing there on the 24th, actually, for the night. We're just doing half an hour on the 3rd. So it'd be great to see a few people along there. Right. So I first met our next performer when he was with the Songwainers. Now the Songwainers regularly held court at Churchdown Folk Club, which was at the Victory Club. You might remember that. You might remember my song earlier that is mentioned. But the Songwainers were really quite famous in their time. They travelled all over the country playing. I always remember them as just standing around the bar stool in a circle, appearing completely oblivious of the audience and producing these wonderful harmonies. I'm really pleased to say that Ken Langsbury is a regular visitor to Churchdown Folk Club, and he's got the most amazing collections of stories and songs. So here is the legendary Ken Langsbury.
Well, here we are at Churchdown Folk Festival. We don't know why they calls it Churchdown, 'cause the church is up. St. Bartholomew's Church stands at the top of her chosen hill, and there's a very steep path up to the church, and that is called the Slippery Pine. Now I'm going to tell you a little story about Nellie's funeral. Back in 1947, when the snow was on the ground and they had to get the church up. They had to get the coffin up to the church, up the slippery pine, and they devised a rope and a pulley and a winch to wind her up in her big coffin, 'cause she were a very large lady, were Nelly, very popular in the village. And they were winding her up on a sledge, and they nearly wound her up to the top of the slippery pine, when the pulley jerked, and there was a stop and a start and a stop and a start, and Nelly's coffin slid off the back of the sledge and went hurtling down the slippery pine. When she got to a bend in the path, she went straight on, through a hedge, broke down the fence, and the ground shot away from underneath her, and she took to the air, flying through the air in her coffin with the greatest of ease. She came into land, took off again, and cleared a stile at the bottom of the field, and landed in the sunken roadway with the snow piled up on each side. Down the lane she shot, a-whimmering and a-whammering from side to side. Now, you'd have thought she'd have gone on to Crifty Craft Lane, but she didn't. Nope. She hit a snowman that the youngsters had built and shot off to the left, down that well-trodden path that went to the pub, the Bat and Bill. Down the little lane she went. There was some old covers there on a cold winter's day of picking sprouts. And their hands were real frozen, and they looked up in amazement as the coffin shot down the path. Ha! There goes Nelly. She be a-going to the Bat and Ball for her daily barley wine, they laughed. But she wasn't, because when she got to the pub, the courtyard of the pub, she hit the wall, shot off at right angles, over the road and through the chemist's door. Bang up the counter she went, the lid of the coffin slid off, and Nelly sat up in the coffin. And the chemist looked at her and said, "What can we do for you, Nelly?" And Nelly says, "I'd like something to stop my coughing, please." Last Sunday morning the missus says to me, "Where would you like to be buried, Timothy? You're insured for 100 of the best, and you'll be shortly laid to rest. £10 down is all you got to pay to the undertaker, Binks." I says, "You'll look very nice with £90 for drinks." So I do pity myself, I do. I pity myself not half. When you paid for the funeral and bought a bit of black, there'll be £10 £5 down to be spent coming back. There'll be gin for all relations and rum for the coachman too. I'll be with you going there, I won't be with you coming back. So I pity myself, I do. Oh, Billy Brown, a sailor pal of mine, he says I'm a-going on the brine. Kindly look after my wooden-legged wife and see that her leads a sober life. But last night, coming out the Robin Hood, her broke her wooden leg, oh my! I knelt down to try and mend it if I could, but she broke it off too high. So I do pity myself, I do. Oh, I pity myself not to have, for her old man tomorrow's coming home from sea, and he left his wife and her leg in charge of me. When he finds she's broke her wooden leg and her skirt's all covered in glue, and when he knows I got the splinters sticking in me thumb, oh, I pity myself, I do. There, that's a song from Frida Palmer. We've been singing that a good few years now. I'm going to sing you, I'll sing you Georgie. I learnt this off a fine singer, Pete Noder. When I remember how it goes, I'll sing it to you. As I rode down to Bantry Town one midnight morning early, 'twas there I saw a fair young maid lamenting for her Georgie. Come saddle to me, my milk-white steed. Come saddle to me, my pony. That I may ride to London town to plead for the life of my Georgie. And when she came into the hall, there was lords and ladies aplenty, and she fell down onto her bended knee to plead for the life of her Georgie. The judge, he looked over his left shoulder and he says, I'm sorry for thee. For your fine young maid you have come too late, for George is condemned already. Oh, George is down neither cow nor calf, never so much as a penny, but he stole 16 of the king's wild deer. Now he'll die for the crimes of many. Oh, I wish I was in Bantry Town, where I have been times many. with a sword and a pistol by my side. I'd fight for the life of my Georgie. Oh, the willow tree hangs very low, and the rue is running for me, and the violet shy says he's bound to die. They are bound to hang my Georgie. Georgie. Morton in Marsh be a desperate place for cricket. He does the job proper there. A mowed ground, a painted pavilion, and all of 'em playing in white trousers. Little boys' caps and all they's got. On Saturday they was playing one of the village teams from up on the hills. Longborough, as hadn't got all the tackle the Morton men had got. Whoa, some of 'em was a-playing in a corduroys even, and they only had 2 pads between the 11 of 'em. They was odd uns. Anyhow, comes their turn to bat. Oi, Bill, one of 'em shouts down to t'other, they got your pad on the wrong leg. Have we, says Bill. Well, thee best let 'em bowl at ye, and I'll go in took to t'other end. Old Tommy Hatton, the fireman, he were umpire. He had on 1/2 a dozen hats and 6 jumpers. Was a bloomin' hot day. Ha, he says, you stay where thee be, Bill, he says. Both their bowlers be left-handed. Oh, bar, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. Then give me rotten, let your mutton go bare, for all the girls are busy knitting jumpers everywhere, and there ain't one that's worth 3 and 6 as a roll, 'cause it's 10 pair of needles and 2 ton of wool, but all the girls are busy knitting jumpers all day long. Can't you hear the jumper girl singing first to plain and then to pearl, and it one slip, one makes to drop one, leave the needles on the chair, so the part with the umps got to do jump, singing jumpers everywhere. Now in the trams and the buses I sits, and then knits. They buys the wool at a guinea per pound, and he gets a lot of little holes and puts the wool around at 9p a stitch. Jumpers cost quite a lot, but the little holes between them cost God knows what. But oh, the girls are busy knitting jumpers all day long. Can't you hear the jumper girl singing first to plain and then to pearl, and it's one slip, one makes it to drop one, leave the needles on the chair, so the part with the umps got to do the jump, singing jumpers everywhere. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yes, Ken, we definitely did enjoy it. I never tire of hearing Ken's stories. It's amazing. And he's got them all in his head still. Okay, I think we'll take a short. When we were at a practice the other Thursday, we thought we'd video something. So here's a little bit of Blackthorn Buskers for you.
It's a damn tough life full of toil and strife we whaler men undergo, and we don't give a damn when the gale is done how hard the winds did blow. For we're homeward bound from the Arctic ground in a good ship, taut and free, and we don't give a damn when we drink our rum with the girls of Old Maui, rolling down to Old Maui, me boys, rolling down to Old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui. Once more we sail with the northerly gale through the ice and wind and rain. Then coconut fronds and tropical lands we soon shall see again. 6 hellish months have passed away in the cold Kamchatka Sea, but now we're bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui, rolling down to Old Maui, me boys, rolling down to Old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui. Once more we sail with the northerly gale towards our island home. Our mainmast sprung, our whaling's done, but we ain't got far to roam. Our stunsail boom is carried away, what care we for that sound? A living gale is after us, thank God we're homeward bound, rolling down to Old Maui, me boys, rolling down to Old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui. How soft the breeze through the island trees, now the ice is far astern. Then native maids and tropical glades is awaiting our return. Even now their big brown eyes have kept hoping some fine day to see our flaggy sails running for the gales, rolling down to Old Maui, rolling down to Old Maui, me boys, rolling down to Old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui, rolling down to Old Maui, me boys, rolling down to Old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Old Maui.
Okay, now Gwilym and Carol Davies have been researching and performing folk songs for many, many years, and between them they've written 2 books on folk music. They are the driving force behind Glostrad.com, a website detailing songs and tunes collected in Gloucestershire. Tonight they'll be performing English and American folk songs backed by keyboard, melodeon and banjo. So here's Gwilym and Carol Davies.
Hello, we are Gwilym and Carol Davies. Gwilym, Carol, hi. Welcome to our home. It's where we can be in these days, isn't it? So, we're going to sing for you and play for you some traditional, mainly traditional music, occasional modern piece as well. And we're looking forward very much to doing that for you.
Yes, we got folk songs from both sides of the Atlantic, and a lot of them tell stories and they're ballads. And we've slipped in one very modern piece written in the 70s to bring things right up to date. So sit back and I hope you enjoy the music. Well, this is a little tale of highway robbery, or rather of how a young farm boy managed to trick the robber and get away with not only with the money but his horse as well. Horses were worth a lot in those days. This is a version. It's called Jack and the Robber. There are other names for it, but this was collected. I learned it from a local gypsy, Danny Brazel at Staverton, and this is his version. Jack and the Robber. It's of an old farmer, I mean to tell you plain. He had a servant boy, and Jack was his name. He said to him, Jack, take the cow to the fair, for she's in good order for all that I could spare. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Jack drove the cow straight out of the barn and up to the fair. The cow he did run. He wasn't long there before he met 3 men, and there he sold the cow for £13.10. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Jack went in the pub late for to get a drink, and unto the landlord his ready money chinked. Where shall I put this money to the landlord, he did say, for fear on the road it is robbed I will be. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. In the lining of your coat you will sew it then, said he, right fear on the road it is robbed you will be. For the robber in the corner sat drinking of his wine, and said to himself, all that money will be mine. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Jack left the public and started for home. The robber followed after him straight out of the room. I'll be glad of your company, young man, he did say, and he jumped in the saddle and so they rode away. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. They jogged along together to a bend in the lane, and now said the robber, I mean to tell you plain, come deliver up your money without no more delay, or else this very moment your life will take away. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Jack drew the money from the lining of his coat, and all about the green grass he threw it all about, while the robber picked the money up from down among the grass. Jack jumped in the saddle and rode away his horse. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. The servants, Jack coming home, and unto his master quickly he did run. Oh master, oh here comes Jack, he's riding in the gate upon a horse's back. With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Oh master, the servant he did say, it is no loss, for I think he's done a swap. Well tell me now Jack, did you buy the beast, or how did the cow turn into a horse? With me fall-a-diddle-lie-do, fall-a-diddle-lay. Oh master, I mean to tell you plain, I met a bold robber on the highway as I came. Well, he was picking up the money that I threw down on the grass. To bring you home commission, sir, I brought you home his horse. With me fall the diddle-lie-do, fall the diddle-lay. The saddlebags were open and there they did behold 500 bright guineas and some silver and some gold. A pair of bright pistols, the farmer he did well. He said, well done, Jack, for you well sold the cow. With me fall the diddle-lie-do, fall the diddle-lay. With me fall the diddle-lie-do, fall the diddle-lay. With me fall the diddle-lie-do, fall the diddle-lay. This is a tune from northwest Spain, from a band that played traditional Galician music called Miladoiro, and it's called No Confín dos Verdes Castros. Now, Castro is a sort of Neolithic hill fort, and there are lots of them dotted around northwest Spain. So the translation of it would be in the confine of the green hill forts. What do you think about that for a title then, Carol?
A bit long, but very picturesque.
It is, isn't it?
This is a lovely tune written by Miladoiro.
Here we go. As you probably know, a lot of British ballads and songs were taken over to America by the settlers, and they found a home in the Appalachian Mountains. And a lot of these ballads were lost over the side of the pond, but carried on over there, and were still being sung, and are still being sung. This is a very old ballad which folklorists call The Wife of Usher's Well. However, most versions of it don't mention Usher's Well at all, which is rather curious. This version comes from North Carolina and is called There Was a Woman. Rather spooky story. A woman's 3 sons or 3 children die of a mysterious illness. And then they come back to her. Ghost story. There was a woman. There was a woman and she lived alone, and the babies she had 3. She sent them away to the North Country to learn their grammary. They'd not been gone very short time. Scarcely 6 weeks to the day when death cold death spread through the land and took them babes away. She's praying to the Lord in heaven above, wearing the starry crown. Oh, bring to me my 3 little babes tonight or in the morning soon. Very close to Christmas time, and the nights were dark and long, and the very next morning at the break of day, the babes come running home. She's made a table for them to eat. On it spread bread and wine. Come eat, come drink, my 3 little babes. Come with me, come drink of wine. Oh, mother, we cannot eat your bread, neither can we drink your wine. For tomorrow morning at the break of day, our Saviour must rejoin. She's made a bed in the backmost room. On it she spread a sheet, and on the top a golden spread to help them babes to sleep. Rise up, said the eldest one. Rise up, said she. For tomorrow morning at the break of day, our Saviour must receive. Clods of clay roll o'er our heads, green grass grows at our feet, and thy sweet tears, my mother dear, will wet our winding sheet. There was a woman, and she lived alone. Okay, we're going to sing Scarborough Fair. Scarborough Fair is a very well-known song, of course, particularly in the version that Simon and Garfunkel recorded, which is actually a Yorkshire version. But there are lots of other different versions of it in the British Isles and over in America. This is a particularly fine one that we learnt from a singer in the Swindon Folk Song Club. Goes like this.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair?
Remember me to one who is there.
Remember me to one who is there, for once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt,
Without no stitching nor fine needlework.
without no stitching nor fine needlework, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder dry well,
Where water ne'er sprung nor drop of rain fell.
where water ne'er sprung nor drop of rain fell, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to dry it on yonder thorn,
Where blossom ne'er bloomed since Adam was born.
where blossom ne'er bloomed since Adam was born, and then she'll be a
one who is there.
Remember me to one who is there, for one she was a true love of mine.
Yes. This is a story of highway robbery. Features 3 jolly butchers. I don't know if you know many butchers. Are they usually jolly? Do you know many jolly butchers? Some of them are quite miserable actually, but never mind. That's another story. And it also features a naked woman.
Oh.
It's not Carol. It's only part of the song, you understand. But she turns out to be not what she seems. And we have dastardly murder before the end of the song.
Ooh.
3 jolly butchers. It's all 3 jolly butchers, as I've heard many say. They were going to some market town, their money for to pay. They rode together for a mile or 2 and a little more beside. Says Johnson unto Gibson, I heard a woman cry. Then stop I won't, says Gibson, stop I won't, says Ride. Then stop I will, says Johnson, for I heard a woman cry. And Johnson he alighted and viewed the ground all round, and saw this naked woman with her hair pinned to the ground. How came you here, says Johnson, how came you here, said he?
2 highwaymen never robbed me, and that you can plainly see.
So Johnson, being a valiant man, a man of courage bold, he took the coat from off his back to keep her from the cold. And Johnson, being a valiant man, a man of valiant mind, well, he got up upon his horse and sat her on behind. And as they rode along the road as fast as they could ride, she put her fingers to her lips and gave 3 piercing cries. Out sprang 10 bold highwaymen with weapons in their hands. They stepped up to young Johnson and boldly bid him stand. Then stand I will, says Johnson, as long as e'er I can, for I never was in all my life afraid of any man. And Johnson, being a valiant man, he made those bullets fly, till 9 of those 10 highwaymen all on the ground did lie. This wicked woman standing by young Johnson did not mind. She took a knife off from her side and stabbed him from behind. But the day it being a market day, and the people passing by, they saw this woman's dreadful deed and raised a hue and cry. And she was down to Newgate brought, bound in iron strong, for killing the finest butcher boy that ever the sun shone on. For killing the finest butcher boy that ever the sun shone on. 3 jolly butchers.
Our next song is actually a hunting song, but unusually for such things, this is one in which the fox gets the better of the huntsman. It's a wonderful song written by Graham Pratt. I believe it's based on a legend that he heard and felt he really ought to write a song about. And we love hearing Graham and Eileen singing this. It's one of our favourites. So this is The Black Fox.
As we were out hunting one morning in the spring, with hounds and horses running well, make the hills and valleys ring. But to our great misfortune, no fox could there be found, and the huntsman cursed and swore, but still no fox moved over the ground. Then spoke our gallant huntsman, at the head of the hounds rode he.
Oh, we have ridden for a full 3 hours, but no fox had we see. And there is strength still in me, and I must have my chess. And if only the devil himself came by, we'd run him such a race.
We chased him over the field, we chased him down to the river bank, but never would he yield. He's jumped into the water, and he swam to the other side, and he's laughed so loud that the greenwood shook, and he's turned to the huntsman and cried,
Ride on, my gallant huntsman, when shall I come again? Oh, never shall you want a fox to chase all over the plain. And when your need is greatest, just call upon my name, and I will come and you shall have the best of sport and game.
All the men looked up in wonder, all the hounds ran back to hide, for the fox had changed to the devil himself, where he stood on the other side. And men and hounds and horses went flying back to town, and hard on the hills came a little black fox, laughing as he ran.
Ride on, my gallant huntsman, when shall I come again? Oh, never shall you want a fox to chase along the plain.
Ride on, my gallant huntsman, when shall I come again? Oh, never shall you want a fox to chase along the lane.
Well, thank you, Gwilym and Carol. That was really great. I love the way the melodeon goes so well with the piano. Right, I've had a word with Bill, and he says he's prepared to do a little bit longer than this half an hour. So here we go then. Rebecca Kay is joined by Bill Taylor performing traditional and contemporary songs and ballads. Rich vocals, warm harmonies with guitar and mandolin accompaniment. They first met at a folk club. The duo ReBil, having been offered a booking as a duo, set out to work on a set of songs to perform. Rebecca was brought up in a folk family and has been singing and playing from childhood. Bill began learning the guitar and discovered folk as a teenager. So here's ReBil.
Guitar of mine could feel, she'd tell you what it's like to be caressed by steel that cuts just like a knife, to feel the metal sliding up and down your soul. Prodigal son down at the crossroads,
joy and sang the blues. Played the song the cowboys sing, piano, rag and fiddle tunes, rockabilly, western swing, concert halls and hotel rooms.
If this guitar of mine could cry, she'd tell you of the tears that fell from these green eyes these past 40 years. She'd tell of tears of joy when friendship started, or tell of tears of pain when old friends parted. She'd tell of lonely days and sigh, if this guitar of mine could cry.
This guitar of mine could build a house full of resides. She built it in solid spruce with rosewood back and sides. And in December snow she'd keep us from the cold. No chilling wind would blow through wood with molten gold. And every room with laughter filled, this guitar of mine could build. From Bosham with bluegrass boys, house of names complete unknown, basement band that makes some noise, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Looking back and see the change, watch the reels go one by one. Every day we feel the age, every day it seems we've just begun. This guitar of mine. This guitar of mine.
Hello.
Hiya, it's good to be here. We're in the bar. We got that song from the singing of a friend of ours called Tess Hunt. She got it from a duo in the 1970s in a folk club in Somerset. Unfortunately, when she bought their cassette and learnt the song, she then lost the cassette, so we've no idea who they are, where they came from. She thinks they were probably American, and it sounds like it, but just a great song about guitars.
So it's just anonymous at the moment.
It's anon, but not trad.
Unless you know better.
Yeah, if anybody knows, please let us know, because we'd like to give them credit. We could give credit for this one. Austin John Marshall wrote this back in the 60s.
Slightly late with it, but only a few
Yeah,
days.
just squeezed it in. We won't do it again till next year.
It's 50 long springtime since she was a bride, but still you may see her at each Whitsuntide, in a dress of white linen with ribbons of green as her memories of loving.
The feet once nimble tread carefully now, as gentle a measure as age will allow. Through groves of white blossom and fields of young corn, where once she was pledged to her true love.
The fields they stand empty, the hedges grow free, no young men to tend them, or pastures go seed. They have gone where the forest of oak trees before have gone to be wasted in by
a fine roll of honour where the maple once stood. The ladies go dancing at Whitsun. There's a straight row of houses in these latter days, all covering the downs where the sheep used to graze. There's a field of red poppies, a gift from the Queen, but the ladies remember at Whitsun. And the ladies go dancing at Whitsun. The ladies go dancing at Whitsun. All change.
All change, yeah. Yeah, Bill usually manages to work out our set so that it goes guitar, mandolin, guitar, mandolin, guitar, mandolin, guitar, mandolin, and for some reason this time he hasn't done that. So.
And you don't play anything in this either.
Oh, don't I?
Well, I wasn't going to stop you putting on the.
That might go horribly wrong if I don't play anything.
I saw a maid in my father's garden, a maid of honour she seemed to me, until a young man stepped up to her. He said, "My darling, can you fancy me?"
Oh, fancy you, a man of honour you seem to me. How could you impose on a poor young woman that is not fitting your servant to be? I have a true love on the ocean. 7 long years he's been gone from me. 7 long years I've been waiting for him. Perhaps 7 more years he'll return to me.
Perhaps that young man, he is married. Perhaps he's either dead or drowned.
If he is married, I wish him happy. If he's dead, I hope he's in glory crowned.
He put his hand all in his bosom, drew out a ring, both neat and small. It was the ring he had broke between them. Soon as she saw it, down she did fall. He picked her up all in a sorrow, the tears in streams down her neck did fall. He said, "My darling, I'm your single sailor. I have returned to marry you."
If you are then my single sailor, your voice and features seem strange to me.
But 7 long years makes a great difference. Besides, my darling, I've been on the sea. I have houses, both land and riches, bright golden stars I'll give to thee. I'll marry you, make you my lady, and you shall have servants to wait on me. I saw a maid in my father's garden. I think that's the Oxfordshire version. Somewhere up in the North Cotswolds.
I can see Trish is here. She's just giving us a clap.
Hey
is lovely.
Trish.
Do I need this instrument?
Yeah. Blackwater side.
Okay. And when I put in the castle?
Anyway you like.
5.
5. Lots of versions of this. Definitive version for me probably was Anne Briggs. Bert Jansch. Blackwater side.
One evening fell, I took the air down my Blackwater side. 'Twas a gazing all around me.
of the night, let it lie in sport until then. The young man rose, gathered up his clothes, said fare ye well the day.
That's not the promise that you gave to me when you first lay on my breast. When the fishes they fly and the seas run dry, why it's then you'll marry I.
Go home to your father's garden. Go home and reap your fill. Think upon your own misfortune that you bought with your wanton will.
There's not a girl in this whole town as easy led as I. When the fishes they fly and the seas run dry, why it's then you'll marry I.
Blackwater side.
I like that, Trish. He sounds like a wrong un to me, Rebecca. I think you're absolutely right there, Trish. Right.
So from the tradition back up to modern, not quite a sea shanty. We got this from Jill, singer at Kempley, Travelling Folk, and
Roving Folk.
she got it from the Longest Johns.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
She got it from
Harry Brown.
Harry Brown's.
She got it from Harry Brown.
And somebody
I
called
think that was
Nobby
Michael
something
Caine, I
wrote
think.
it.
Nobby Dye wrote the words,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so having worked our way up to that, how's it go?
Well, you do the introduction.
I've just done the introduction, I just told them what it was.
Yeah, but now you have to play something a little bit.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
there now? There's a tale of old Bristol, I'll tell you. Long before the docks were shut down, and ships from the sea would berth at the quay, right there in the centre of town. Two ships from the line of MacAndrew, the Llamas and Davies by name. Fine fruits would have load on the old cobbled road, all fresh from the orchards of Spain. Spanish oranges, well I remember. There are times I'm tasting them still.
Recalling when we would wait on the quay to harvest the fruits of Seville. Well, we knew that the fruit ship were coming with their fine yellow funnels in view. We'd straight on our bikes just as fast as you like. To the dockyard we scurried, we flew. And my mum, she would shout from behind me, oh, beware of the feared one day we'd be shanghaied away for the taste of those fruits of Seville. Spanish oranges, well, I remember. There are times I'm tasting them still, recalling when we would wait on the quay to harvest the fruits of Seville.
When the ships of fine fruit were unloaded, you would find us in wait of our share. But 'twas never a doubt there'd be some would fall out and be rolling around everywhere. So we gather them up in a jiffy. Oh, to us they were grist for the mill. They'd roll and they'd bounce, and we'd swoop and we'd pounce on those tasty old fruits of Seville.
Spanish oranges, well, I remember. There are times I'm tasting them still, recalling when we would wait on the quay to harvest the fruits of Seville. At the time when our swag was all gathered, with our saddlebags full to the brim, we pedal our load up the Cannon's Marsh Road with the back wheels right down to the rim. And my mum, she would always be waiting for the scent, I'm recalling it still. As fast as you can to the marmalade pan and the tasty old fruits of Seville. Spanish oranges, well, I remember. There are times I'm tasting them still, recalling when we would wait on the quay to harvest the fruits of Seville.
Now it's fine to look back on the old times, but today it just never could be. Fine fruits they unload by the side of the road, and they wouldn't let kids on the quay. So today I buy oranges at Tesco, where I punch in my dinner to till. Organic they say, but to me there's no way they compare with the fruits of Seville.
Spanish oranges, well, I remember. There are times I'm tasting them still, recalling when we would wait on the quay to harvest the fruits of Seville. Those tasty old juicy old fruits of Seville. Spanish
Thank you.
oranges.
Oh, thank you, Will. He absolutely loves this song. I presume it's this one, not the one before.
So, back on the water.
Yeah, I thought you'd got my gin and tonic actually, because we're using the same glasses. My best glasses, I should add.
Not bad.
Dartford Crystal.
Oh, Dartford.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
This is a joiny-inny one.
yeah, you got to sing loud. We'll teach you the chorus slowly first.
With me,
Roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-ah, whack, fall the riddle with me, Roo-dum-da. with me roo-dum-da. Fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da.
My son John was tall and slim, he had a leg for every limb. But now he's got no legs at all, he ran a race with a cannonball.
With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da.
Oh, were you drunk or were you blind when you left your two fine legs behind? Or was it sailing on the sea? Were your two fine legs right down to your knee?
With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. I was not drunk, I was not blind when I left my two fine legs behind. Nor was it sailing on the sea, with me two fine legs right down to the knee. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. For I was tall and I was slim, I had a leg for every limb. But now I got no legs at all, they were both shot away by a cannonball. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle-la. Whack, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. With me roo-dum-da, fall the riddle with me roo-dum-da. My son John. A version of that Irish song, Mrs. McGrath. About as anti-war as you can get, I think. So we're going to do, next we're going to do Scarborough Fair, I think.
Sorry, I was just...
Sorry, she's distracted.
Well, there was a technical message.
Uh-huh. So this is our version of Scarborough Fair, which is the three questions from somewhere up north. I suppose Scarborough is, isn't it?
Okay.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, without no seams and no needlework. Then she'll be a true lover of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder dry well. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. When a sprang water, no drop of rain fell, then she'll be a true lover of mine. Tell her to dry it on yonder blackthorn. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. When a sprang water since Adam was born, then she'll be a true lover of mine.
Now he has asked me questions three. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme.
3 questions.
Oh. Thank you, Jim.
So, Golden Vanity.
Oh, right.
So we got just 2 more.
Yeah.
Are we? Or just
yeah,
1?
no, that's fine. Yeah, we. So what are we doing? Right. Golden Vanity, marvellous. Gosh, so we've done all our whole set, have we? Wow,
Oh.
that went really quick.
We got Walking Along Miles Home after this.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah.
So where are we?
I don't know, you've got the instructions.
Oh yeah, I've got the instructions. I'm in charge. Do you know what? Why am I on water and you're on gin and tonic?
You're
That doesn't-
driving and I'm not.
Oh yeah.
And you've had beer.
Don't you hate it when you have to drive home from a festival, eh?
It's been really good, hasn't it? There's been some great music on today. Really, really enjoyed it. And there's still Colin Pitts to come, so don't switch off because he's well worth waiting for.
I'm waiting for him.
Good.
In fact, if we do this really quick, he'll be on sooner, won't he?
I don't think it works like that.
Do they not?
No, I don't think so. Oh, there once was a lofty ship that sailed upon the sea, and
She sailed by the name of the Golden Vanity. She feared she would be taken by the Turkish enemy.
And
She sailed in the lowlands, lowlands, low. She sailed in the lowlands, low. In the lowlands, in the lowlands. She sailed in the lowlands, low.
Then came the cabin boy and up stepped he, and he said to the skipper, what will you give to me if I swim alongside of the Turkish enemy and sink her in the lowlands, lowlands, low, and sink her in the lowlands, low,
In the lowlands, in the lowlands. And sink her in the lowlands, low. I will give you silver, gold I'll give to thee, and my only daughter, your bride to be, if you swim alongside of the Turkish enemy, and sink her in the lowlands, lowlands, low, sink her in the lowlands, low, in the lowlands, in the lowlands, sink her in the lowlands, low.
The boy made ready, and overboard sprang he, and he swam alongside of the Turkish enemy. With his auger sharp in her side he bored holes 3, and sank her in the lowlands, lowlands, low. He sank her in the lowlands, low, in the lowlands,
In the lowlands,
he sank her in the lowlands, low.
the boy turned round and back again swam he. He cried to the skipper of the Golden Vanity, but the skipper would not heed, for his daughter he did need. He left him in the lowlands, lowlands, low. He left him in the lowlands, low. In the lowlands, in the lowlands. He left him in the lowlands, low.
The boy swam around and he came to the port side, and he looked up at his messmates and bitterly he cried, oh messmates, take me up, for I'm drifting with the tide, I'm sinking in the lowlands, lowlands, low, I'm sinking in the lowlands, low,
In the lowlands, in the lowlands. I'm sinking in the lowlands, low. His messmates took him up, but on the deck he died. They sewed him in his hammock that was so large and wide. They lowered him overboard, so he drifted with the tide, and sank beneath the lowlands, lowlands, low. He sank beneath the lowlands, low. In the lowlands, the lowlands. He sank beneath the lowlands, low. In the lowlands, the lowlands. He sank beneath the lowlands, low. Yeah,
The Golden Vanity, our version of. Most of the words came from Chipping Camden, I think. The tune came from school, like a lot of these old songs. What are we doing now?
I think we're doing
Walking the Long Miles Home. This is a Richard Thompson song. Good one for going home because the last bus is gone. So
this was our going home one, but it's yes, well it might.
So this will be the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, the last bus is gone. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. It just doesn't exist. And the words that flew between me and you must be crossed off your list. So I'm walking the long miles home. I don't mind losing you. In fact, I feel better each step of the way. The dark I rehearse all the right things to say. I'll be home, I'll be sober, break of the day. Walking the long miles home. Not a soul is around, there's a footmark around between me and you. And the whole town's asleep, or maybe they're deep in that old rendezvous. So I'm walking the long miles home. I don't mind losing you. Got the moon there for company each step of the way. The rhythm in my shoes keeps the blues away. When you ride Shanks's pony, you don't have to pay. Walking the long miles home. Oh, the party was grand, and I hadn't quite planned on staying so long. And while you accuse me, the hours confuse me, my friends had all gone. So I'm walking the long miles home. I don't mind losing you. There's nobody out but the cop on the beat. He's snoring so loud I don't hear my feet. I laugh to myself, move off down the street. Walking the long miles home. Walking the long miles home. Walking the long miles home.
You're like a little boy
Richard
at school.
Thompson.
When they say take a deep breath, you did do it. And your shoulders
Yeah.
went up.
Absolutely. Well, you see, there's a
I'm
bit
going
of
to win this
bit of a
time.
competition in there. See who can hold that note the longest.
And I always win.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't do so badly on
Great,
that.
great set of lungs on Rebecca, I have to say. No rudeness intended
No pun
whatsoever. No.
Thank you, Bill. You've been an absolute star, Will.
Amazing.
Sorry. You've
Will.
done an amazing job. I hope you sleep well tonight because you've not stopped. And you even turned up in the singing session, sing around, which was nice, and sang a song.
Thank you, Bill and Rebecca. That was great. And thanks for doing the extra as well for us. Closing the festival is one of my favourite singer-songwriters and a great guitarist who knows just what is needed to accompany his singing. Colin has recorded many fine CDs too. From Evesham, Colin Pitts.
Hello. There's a fox in the cuckoo pen tonight, running around in plain sight. The young ones are chasing imaginary rabbits in the late sunlight. A fox in the cuckoo pen tonight. I was just a young kid walking the old dog on the hill out of sight. Old blue tractor chugging along, work done for the night. A fox in the cuckoo pen tonight. Sometimes it's hard to be where we want to be. Maybe we just do the best we can. Walking in town tonight, wind blow yellow and white. I saw a fox coming out of an alley in the street light. Walking in town tonight. So where do we go from here? Water's gone over the weir. As I get older, the yellow bulldozer is all I hear. Where do we go from here? Sometimes it's hard to be where we want to be. Maybe we just do the best we can. Fox in the cuckoo pen tonight, running around in plain sight. Young ones are chasing imaginary rabbits in the late sunlight. There's a fox in the cuckoo pen tonight. Hello, that's a song I wrote from my childhood. The Cuckoo Pen was the name of a field in Cropthorne, village of Cropthorne, where I was born and lived as a child. I write a lot of songs about Evesham, because I live here and have done for a long time. And we have a fair, Evesham Fair. It's the most exciting thing that happens, really. Every October it's been running for about 800 years apparently, and it's where you used to go if you wanted to get a job, what they used to call a hiring fair, and it's known as the Mop Fair, this doing this online stuff, I never know, you can't tell whether anybody's there or not, so it all feels a bit odd, but the thing is, if you feel like joining in over there in computer land, please do. There's a little chorus to it. Very simply, it just goes, I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair, we'll drink the barrel dry, and you sing it twice. Preferably at the same time as I'm doing it. Autumn's here again, and the work is hard to find. The harvest's in the barn, and the fields are ploughed in time. The apples are pressed and the cider's brewing, the hops in the kiln close by. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair, we'll drink the barrow dry. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair, we'll drink the barrow dry. Now the mist's on Breeden Hill, in the morning now I see. Evesham Vale is turning brown, the leaves fall from the trees. There's work to find if you've a mind, if you're young and free. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair, we'll drink the barrow dry. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair, we'll drink the barrow dry. making nails or brewing beer. They work you till you're tired. Evesham Fair's the place to be if you want to get hired. Maybe a house on Greenhill where it's easy to get fired. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. There's cider and beer to drink, all brewed in the lane nearby. Cheese and hot fruit pies, all the girls with the hair piled high. If you're lucky you might win a penny, at the wrestling you might try. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. So autumn's here again, and the work is hard to find. The harvest's in the barn, all the fields are ploughed in time. The apples are pressed and the cider's brewing, the hops in the kiln close by. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. I'll meet you at the old Mop Fair. We'll drink the barrow dry. Thank you. Oh dear, I'm getting a bit of a frog in the throat here. Never mind. This next one I wrote while I was watching telly. Just news bulletins and stuff like that passing through, you know. There's always a conflict on somewhere, and as they call it, haha. The biggest euphemism in the world, I think that is, another conflict. So these are just some images really from television. I stole the tune from an old a song that you very often hear bluegrass singers doing called The Wayfaring Stranger. On the hillside above the town, a young boy sits looking down, holds a blanket in his hand. Across the border, his own land. On the road, muffled footsteps, blistered feet, on snow and frost, bullet holes in the plaster. Who's left behind to pay the cost? And the dove flies over the mountain. Her wings are burnt and black, and the dove flies over the mountain. She's never coming back. Tea time's call, it's on the table. Brown or white bread, the family's seen. A burned out car is quietly smoking on our digital TV screen. But on the hillside above the town, a young boy sits, gun pointing down, and the newsreader puts down his pen. Until tomorrow we can do it all again. And the dove flies over the mountain, her wings are burned and black, and the dove flies over the mountain. She's never coming back. She's never coming back. Thank you. I have to tell you that I very nearly didn't get to do this today. I must admit, I'm driving poor Bill mad because today I have been the victim of a gigantic cock-up by BT. I discovered that not only does their left hand not know what their right hand's doing, their left foot doesn't know what their right foot's doing. So just more by luck than judgment that I've ended up being able to do this. This song is written by David Mallet. And being a songwriter, sometimes, you know, you hear something, you have an idea and you know, it kind of trolls around in your head for a bit. And then you hear something and somebody's written what you wanted to say. So I'm not proud, you know. I just think, well, you know, why do extra work? It's already been done, so I'll steal his song. So this is written by Woody Guthrie used to do it, what the hell. Yeah, David Mallet from Maine in America, and he's no relation to Timmy Mallet, by the way, those of you who remember Timmy Mallet. It's called Hometown Heroes. Incidentally, I hope the sound's coming through all right. I've not seen any comments or anything, so hopefully it's coming through. Henry, you sure bought that whole James Dean thing, right down to the end. Drinking beers and banging gears on the outside looking in. Such a desperate time on a small town stage, no prize for the coming of age. You burned with a passion and you burned with a rage, till the fire pulled you in. Now me, I was just a green-eyed kid, you were a few years older than me. And as I look back on those days in the dust, you were what we wanted to be. Quick with a smile, good with a wheel, cool with the women, you made us all feel like we're all gonna rise in a flash of steel in some teenage fantasy. So look out your hometown heroes, look out your homecoming queens. There's a bad kid coming to the party tonight, he's coming apart at the seams. Now your dad still stares at the street sometimes, a lost look in his eye. Your sad mama wakes in the heat of the night, thinks of her baby and cries. And the all-night crew is all settled down. It's been many years in this old town. The sun comes up and the rain pours down on that hillside where you lie. So look out your hometown heroes, look out your homecoming queens. There's a bad kid coming to the party tonight, he's coming apart at the seams. And look out your hometown heroes, look out your homecoming queens. There's a bad kid coming to the party tonight, he's coming apart at the seams. So Henry, you sure bought that whole James Dean thing, right down to the end. Drinking beers and banging gears, on the outside looking in. Such a desperate time on a small town stage, no prize for the coming of age. You burned with a passion and you burned with a rage, till the fire pulled you in. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay, thanks for that. It's you can't always tell on the thingy, you know. I'm going to do a little experiment now. I'm going to ruin everything now, because I'm going to play my mandolin. Which anybody who knows me knows that I don't really play the mandolin, but anyway. We're going to give it a go because there's one song that just has to be done on the mandolin. A minute. So stand back, music lovers. And oh, it used to be so simple when it was just acoustic, didn't it? And no cables and all that stuff. I think I'm the original Luddite, me. This is a song about a block of flats. I hope the mandolin comes through, okay? But if you can only hear the voice and not the mandolin, that's okay. Just know that I'm playing it. Is that all right? This is a song about a block of flats in Evesham that used to be a row of cottages where people lived and made nails. A sort of Evesham B&Q. I was talking to somebody the other day actually about talking to B&Q. Somebody said about going, being able to go and do the shopping, and with COVID, of course, people are queuing up outside shops, and they said, was there a big queue at B&Q? I said, no, it's the same size as the B. Now Albert Taylor is my name, down on Nailers Row. Making nails is all my game, down on Nailers Row. 4 a pound is all me pay, working 16 hours a day. I sleep in the kitchen on a bale of hay, down on Nailers Row. Put the irons in the fire till all red hot, down on Nailers Row. forged the ends on a nailor's block down on Nailor's Row. Sister burned her poor hands raw, she's only 6 but we need her score. And Dad went deaf from the bellows roar down on Nailor's Row. Well, it's Saturday round to the merchant's door down on Nailor's Row. You'll tell he's got too many in store down on Nailor's Row. We all could starve before too long as the nails are coming along. One day we'll be singing a different song down on Nailor's Row. Now I'm deep in debt to the fogger man down on Nailor's Row. Keep us down is the fogger plan down on Nailor's Row. Sells us iron at a price so high and pays bugger all for the ones he buys. I swear one day he'll bleed us dry down on Nailor's Row. Now a girl from Greenhill passed our door down on Nailor's Row. She didn't mind that I was poor down on Nailor's Row. 6 long months we met on the sly. Her dad said he'd kill me if I made her cry. Then he married her off to a doctor from Lye down on Nailor's Row. So Albert Taylor is my name down on Nailor's Row. Making nails is all me game down on Nailor's Row. 4p a pound is all me pay, working 16 hours a day. I sleep in the kitchen on a bale of hay down on Nailor's Row. Down on Nailor's Row. Cheers. Well, yeah, Nailor's Row. It used to be a lot. People always think of Evesham as like growing cabbages and that, but you know, we were very technical. We made beer and nails and beer. I made a discovery about Evesham that, because you'll have realised with these songs that I write that I put an immense amount of research into them. You know, I visit all the libraries that I can find. I go to Oxford University to find things out, and I you know, yeah, right. That's just a line. So anyway, I do a lot of research, and during my researches, I made this stunning discovery that Evesham did not have a sea shanty written for it. Now, I know that Evesham is one of the furthest places from the sea you can get in this country, but I thought that was just not fair. You know, the fishermen's friends down in Cornwall, they've got all these Up and Weigh Your Anchor songs they can sing, you know, and I thought Evesham deserves a sea shanty. But unfortunately we don't have any sea, but we do have a river. This has got a chorus. There's a boat on the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a boat on the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a boat on the river and it waits for me. Sails are set to the rolling sea. A boat on the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a sun on the river, roll, deep waters roll. And the sun on the river, roll, deep waters roll. and the sun on the water lights my way. I'm gonna follow the ancient way. The sun on the river roll, deep waters roll. There's a branch on the river and he makes a bridge. I'm standing at the water's edge. A branch on the river and he makes a bridge. I'm gonna walk it soon. There's a boat on the river roll, deep waters roll. There's a storm up the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a storm up the river, roll, deep waters roll. And the storm up the river's gonna come down. You better watch out in this little town. A storm on the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a branch on the river and he makes a bridge. I'm standing at the water's edge. A branch on the river and he makes a bridge. I'm gonna walk it soon. There's a boat on the river, roll, deep waters roll. There's a boat on the river, roll, deep waters roll. Roll, deep waters roll. Thank you very much. That's it for the mandolin. Here's a song I wrote in a cafe. Being a technically retired person, although I seem to be busier now than I was when I was at work, a technically retired person, I spend some time in cafes because you get lots of ideas for songs in cafes, and this is one such. It's a love song involving pasta and coffee. Called 12 Until 1. Very humid tonight, the guitar doesn't like it. Okay. Having a moment. Okay, stand up music lovers. They come here each Friday, sit by the window, hold hands and whisper till the waiter comes. He orders pasta while she just has coffee. Time stands still from 12 until 1. She tells him about the young girls at the office. Their talk of boyfriends can be so unkind, while he thinks of the classroom, the language the boys use, and the things the girls whisper when they're walking behind. 12 until 1, one single hour. 12 until 1, that's all they have. And they both know that it might never be longer. Time stands still from 12 until 1. She spends her evenings with TV soap operas, her mother so frail, her sister far away, while he listens to his old Paul Simon records in a 2-roomed apartment just a short walk away. But sometimes love is like a warm summer rain. Dark clouds gather, then quickly they're gone. It finds its way through all the cracks in the walls we build all around us to keep us from harm. 12 until 1, one single hour. 12 until 1, that's all they have, and they both know that it might never be longer. Time stands still from 12 until 1. They come here each Friday and sit by the window, hold hands and whisper till the waiter comes. But outside the town is too busy to notice them lost in each other from 12 until 1. Lost in each other from 12 until 1. I'm going to sing another one that I didn't write, actually. This was somebody that I hadn't really known too much about until recently. A gentleman called Richard Schindel. Written quite a few songs. But this one I particularly like. It's another, it's kind of a love song, I suppose. Because I'm an old softie. By the way, actually, I got to tell you, I put these here. Because being as we're on the internet, I can advertise. So, so there you go. Colin's CDs. You see, these are available at colinpitts.co.uk website. They're ever so good. And the thing is, I need a new back tyre on the car, so you know, if you could see your way to a Richard Schindel song. It's called The Ballad of Mary Magdalene. My name is Mary Magdalene, I come from Palestine. Please excuse these rags I'm in, I've fallen on hard times. Long ago I had my work, when I was in my prime. But I gave it up, was all for love, his career or mine. Jesus loves me, this I know, why on earth did I ever let him go? He was always faithful, always kind, he walked off with this heart of mine. A love like this will come but once, this I do believe. I'll never see his like again as I live and breathe. And I'm sorry if I might offend, but I could never see how the tenderness I shared with him became a heresy. Jesus loves me, this I know. How on earth did I ever let him go? He was always faithful, always kind. He walked off with this heart of mine. And I remember nights we spent whispering our creed, our rituals, our sacraments, the stars our canopy. And there beneath an olive tree we offered up our plea. God's creation innocent, his arms surrounding me. Jesus loved me, this I know. How on earth did I ever let him go? He was always faithful, always kind. He walked off with this heart of mine. Jesus loved me, this I know. Why on earth did I ever let him go? He was always faithful, always kind. He walked off with this heart of mine. Ballad of Mary Magdalene. Thank you. Well, being involved in folk music, of course, I'm very into folk songs, especially the ones I write. Ho ho. But of course, they're very educational. Folk songs are, and this next one of mine that appeared one night. This is no exception. It's very educational. There's a lot of history in it, and a lot of considered over the years. Oh, it also has a connection with footwear as well. One o'clock in the morning, traffic lights were red. The pizza place was closing, there's a song inside my head. A man staggers in the road, I think he's had a few. He's walking like he's wearing the wrong shoes. The wrong shoes, the wrong shoes. He's walking like he's wearing the wrong shoes. Now when I was at school, they all said to me, "A career, my boy, a banker you shall be." So I went to all the lessons, wrote it down in blue. Then I ran as fast as I could from the wrong shoes. The wrong shoes, the wrong shoes. I ran as fast as I could from the wrong shoes. Now Sherlock Holmes was searching the moor for a big dog one day. Watson saw some footprints, said, "I must have gone this way." Sherlock took out his glass. A poodle came in view. He said, "Elementary, Watson, these are the wrong clues." The wrong clues, the wrong clues. Elementary, my dear Watson, these are the wrong clues. Now on a rainy day at Waterloo, Napoleon got beat, with his hat on sideways, wet shoes on his feet. Not tonight, Josephine, my empire is all gone, she said. Chérie, you should have worn the boots of Wellington. The boots of Wellington, the boots of Wellington. Chérie, you should have worn the boots of Wellington. As I said, very, very educational. Now at the Battle of Bosworth, Richard III fell. They found him in a car park, not looking too well. They say he lost his horse, well I don't know if it's true, but I'll bet that horse was wearing the wrong shoes, yeah. The wrong shoes, the wrong shoes. I'll bet that horse was wearing the wrong shoes. The wrong shoes, the wrong shoes. I'll bet that horse was wearing the wrong shoes. There you are, you see, very, very educational folk song. This is another Evesham song. This is my Ballad of Evesham, if you will. It's it uses the old-fashioned name for Evesham, kind of a slang name that it used to be called Asum by local people. And there was a whole language, Asum language. You can buy books on it and dictionaries on it and all sorts. As a friend of mine, look out for a guy called Bob Woodruff. Has written a lovely book called The Pick of the Crop, which has an awful lot of his Asum language poems in it. He's a real expert on it. It's lovely stuff. And it's very funny to listen to sometimes, you know, especially in this day and age, because it just sounds so so different to what you used to, you know. How best thee go into Asum rather. How best thou? I don't know what it means either. Walking along by the old church wall, a blackbird and a sparrow, silver plane high overhead, straight as an arrow. Morning traffic creeps along, where the sparkling river runs. They're all going down, they're going down the old Asum Road. In my mind I can see the Worcester mail coach coming, rattle on the bridge into town, laughing children running. Then it stops at the Crown, weary passengers stepping down. They're all going down, they're going down the old Asum Road. A boy rides a bike by the river, he stops to lean on the stile. Morning trains picking up speed, he watches a while, and the years roll away. Last night I sang my song, a lot of people sang along. They said they was glad I'd come around, be sure to call when you're next in town. then it's back in the car. Just me and my guitar. I hope the headlamp shines between those white lines as I go down. I'm going down the old Asum Road. I'm going down the old Asum Road. Asum Road. Okay, well, I think probably I should finish. Now, I'm not sure. I can't even see what the time is, but anyway, I'll have a guess and say it's probably about time. So I'm going to finish with this one, which has got a chorus. If you're there and want to sing along, do sing along with this, because you can do it as loud as you like. This is, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. You might have heard it anyway, but my dad was in the Royal Navy between the wars, and so I'm getting a bit uncomfortable on this stool. Anyway, these little details help us get by, don't they? He was in the Navy, Royal Navy, and between the wars mainly, he went around the world. I think it was 3 times before he was 25. He was on some destroyers and a cruiser and a battleship, and he was on a battleship for quite a long time. Quite a few years. This particular battleship was called Ramillies, HMS Ramillies, and it was one of those with the great big guns, 15-inch guns. Dreadful things, really, but quite stunning to look at, But anyway, it was one of those, and he always called it the rolling Ramillies because of the way that it rolled when it was in an open sea, And shortly after he died, funnily enough, I was asked by the Association of Ex-Crew Members of the Ramillies to sing this song for them, to actually perform it down at Portsmouth Naval Barracks. Which I did, and that was a real, proud moment. To think that, I was standing in a bar where my dad had undoubtedly been years ago, and sang this song that I'd written for him. And these guys were really chuffed to hear it, because they were all quite old, obviously, at the time, because it's a long time since World War II ended, when the ship was scrapped after World War II. About 1947. I've got a lovely photograph on the wall upstairs about it, a picture of the Ramillies. Anyway, thanks very much for listening, and I'm glad I finally made it, despite British Telecom. And hopefully we'll be all together singing this properly one day, live, in a room together. Thanks to Bill, especially to Bill, for putting this together today. I know it's been an awful lot of work for him, and I probably didn't help him much with my shenanigans with the phone and the internet. My dad was very disappointed when he got called up again for World War II, in that he was put on destroyers all the time, and he didn't get to go on the Ramillies again, I don't think. Out from Plymouth Harbour, sun on the port side, heading for the ocean on the early morning tide. Born in 1916, she's the queen of all the seas. With a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. Now when she's in the open sea, she rolls like a tub. You have to be quick so you don't get sick when you get your grub. She leaks just like a colander when she's taking it green. She's the finest battleship my eyes have ever seen. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, big and grey and powerful and as easy as you please. On the rolling Ramillies, the rolling Ramillies, with a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. In Madagascar 42, we nearly lost her then. A torpedo hit, the night was split by the cries of frightened men. I must admit I wished I was back home in Evesham's Vale. Soon the flag was on the mast and the order came to sail. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, big and grey and powerful and as easy as you please. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, with a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. Now sometimes I turn my eyes to the picture on the wall. Ramillies was sold for scrap when they needed her no more. But in my dreams I can hear again those 15 inches roar, and the deck plates drum to the turbines hum. We're off to sea once more. Come on the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, big and grey and powerful and as easy as you please. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, with a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, big and grey and powerful and as easy as you please. On the rolling Ramillies, on the rolling Ramillies, with a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. With a job to do, I'm one of the crew on the rolling Ramillies. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers. Hope we all get back together soon. Thank you, Bill.
Well, thank you, Colin. That was brilliant. As a performer myself, I know how hard it can be to play for an audience that you can't even see. You've done a fantastic job tonight. I'd also like to thank everyone who took part in today's festival. There's been some great performances and it's been a great day. Thank you. Have to close now, so good night to all, and hopefully next year's festival will be back in the real world at Churchdown Club again.